All right, Jamie Whyte, one-time ACT party leader, Karyn Hay, Radio Live Evenings host, join me now. Karyn, great to have you back.
Thank you.
Jamie, lovely to have you back. Where have you been? You were overseas for a donkey's life, weren't you?
England, a little bit in Singapore.
Just doing what?
Oh, arsing around, really.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good. That's good. One-time ACT leader, now just arses around. Okay, let's talk the shark encounter, which I guess you've both seen. Is it, Karyn, one of your sort of major fears?
It wasn't until I saw that. I was thinking when I was a child how you just thrust yourself into the surf, no problem whatsoever. But as I've got older and I've seen more of these horrible shark things going on, I'm a bit loath to go out there now. Mm-hmm. And after seeing that, and I wondered whether he knew about the eye or the nose.
I don't know. I think he just obviously is a fighter. You know, that must be it. He was just a fighter. He went into survival mode rather than give up, which I suspect, I don't know, because none of us know unless we're actually there. We can fix that later. None of us know unless we're actually there which way we would act. Do you think you would be a fighter for every sort of breath, or would you just think, oh, that's it, I'm dead?
Well, I've never been in that situation, Paul, but I don't know. I think that when those moments happen to you, you can be frozen with fear, but I think I would go for the eye, isn't it?
If you can get to the eye. I mean, really what you want to do is just somehow just give it a hell of a thump, because most things sharks eat don't thump them, and so they think, oh, yeah, no, my bad.
Wouldn't want to be eaten by a shark.
Do you think that's what Oprah would say, though? I mean, wouldn't Oprah...
No, okay, interesting.
Oprah would want you to
Jamie.
reason with the shark to get it to open up. I mean,
Oprah would want to inspire the shark.
Must be a lot of anger in that shark.
Yeah.
I mean, why, you know...
So how do you
ever
think...
really cared about it.
It's an interesting angle. I hadn't thought we were going to go here instantly. How do you think Oprah would handle it then? She's in the water surfing, probably quite unlikely. She's in the water surfing, and a shark goes at.
She'd want to get to the bottom of its issues, I think. You know, delve deep.
She might not get an interview with it, though. She didn't with Harper Lee.
Didn't she?
No, it was most unfortunate.
But most sharks are more outgoing than Harper Lee.
Where do you think you would be in the spectrum of fight or give up?
Honestly, I think it is one of those things that you discover when you're there. I want to live.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd try to whack it. But the thing is, it's probably... Did you see on the clip, you could see he didn't really... He couldn't tell where it was.
No, how would you know? It's moving quickly.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do? I'd just try and get out of the water, I think.
If you can see, because quite often they come for a bit of a look first. This is life-saving information I'm giving you now, Karyn. Oh, I've read it somewhere. But quite often they'll come for a look first if they're in an environment where they can do that, and they'll just do a swim by, you know. And if you catch it then, jab it in the eye with your thumb.
Really?
All right? Because you don't want to worry, because a lot of people do, about agitating it. Because sharks are born agitated. Poking it in the eye is only going to help you. All right, prisons. Are you alarmed, Jamie, or even surprised when you see prisoners have been singing offensive songs and filming them on contraband phones and uploading them to YouTube?
Well, I'm not surprised in the least. I mean, you know, prisons are full of drugs and alcohol. Everybody knows that. And you got a whole lot of bored men hanging around together. What do you expect them to do? So yeah. I'm not even that outraged, really.
Well, and that was going to be my next question. Does it matter that much?
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I mean, prison's a deterrent, right? The reason I'm in favour of prison is to deter people from committing crimes. Now, of course, the nastier prison gets for people to be in it, the more of a deterrent it is. But how nasty are we really willing to make prison?
Well, because the flip side of that is that logic only works if you're never going to let those people out. And if you're never going to let them out, you can make those prisons as nasty as you like. But we do let people out, so we don't want them to come out having spent 10 years locked up in a really vile environment, do we?
Besides all that, Serco are going to be looking at this pretty closely because...
It's going to cost them money.
Yeah, they're in trouble too. They're in a little bit of trouble at the moment because they're a service company
they're a private firm.
Local and national governments right around the world, so they have tens of thousands of employees, but they're in trouble at the moment, a little bit of trouble, and they've actually employed Winston Churchill's grandson to take over the helm. So he'll be looking at this closely because it is an issue for them because it means they're not controlling the prison properly.
You won't fight them in your cells, you'll fight them on the beaches.
But you've always got a problem with prisons because the guards aren't highly paid people. They've got an incentive to cooperate with the prisoners to make their lives easy and often to make a bit of money on the side.
And let's not imagine that this is only...
Is that right? Often to make a bit of money on the side?
Of course, because they've got the prisoners have got people on the outside who are supplying the guards.
Putting that in my report.
Yeah, we don't know that, Jamie.
Well,
really. You're casting aspersions.
I'm not naming it. I'm just saying that's how it works, right? And it's very difficult to control the guards. You've got to control the guards as well as
we would
the
be
prisoners.
foolish for thinking this was only happening in circa prisons too. I mean,
Yeah,
this would be
absolutely.
happening in them all. Would you buy, just very quickly, would you buy a $72,000 low-maintenance two-bedroom house in Dannevirke just because it was $72,000? Seems hard to imagine you could lose money on it.
Would I buy a $72,000 low-maintenance house in Dannevirke?
Yeah.
I think I would if I had $72,000. Yeah.
Would you, Jamie?
Well, you can get houses almost for free in Detroit.
Yeah, I know, but
and
that's
but
harder
the problem is you've got to pay. There are a
harder
lot
to
of
monitor.
expenses in owning a house. That's what people forget. You've got to pay rates. You've got to keep the thing, together. You've got to maintain it, and
I
it
need a
might
building
not be
report.
worth it.
I found a building report.
And a
yeah.
limb.
I found. I don't know if they do limbs in Dannevirke. I found this house on the thing. Nancy, I sent Aziz away, Hillary, to get information, but Aziz is apparently busy. No wonder we don't pay him with that kind of attitude. But Nancy, you weren't busy, were you?
No.
So I sent you the house in Kerry, which looks fantastic, but it has no price. What do they want? What are they asking?
They are after offers over $3.5 million.
Oh, shoot, dreaming.
Tell them they're dreaming.
Tell them they're dreaming. Have they had much interest?
It's been on the market for a while and they haven't, but apparently just recently they are
Oh,
getting
you
a lot
didn't
of
fall
offers.
for the just recently line, did you?
He absolutely did. He sounded
Yeah.
convincing.
Phone up and sort of suggest around the 1.5 mark. Yeah?
2 million less than what they're after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there hasn't been a lot of interest. Just suggest it and let us know what happens. All right, we're back in just a moment on Paul Henry. It's 23 minutes past 8 with the panel.
Did I drink too much? Am I losing touch? Did I build a ship too red?
Yeah, it's written in the water. Yeah, it's everywhere I go. Telling me.
Alrighty, welcome back. Great to have you with us. It is 26.5 minutes past 8. Our panel are with us, Jamie Whyte and Karyn Hay. Karyn, fast food clampdown, it would appear, I'm disturbed to say, based on a recent survey, that overwhelmingly the majority of New Zealanders want to see some kind of clampdown on fast food outlets, particularly with regard to marketing to children.
I agree with the marketing to children, but I think just eat what you want. But I don't really necessarily personally eat a lot of fast food because I think that this business that it's cheaper than real food, because I think real food is food that you just gather together and cook. I think that's
Real
rubbish.
food is actually food.
Yes, food, yeah. I think that's rubbish. I think you can make a very cheap and easy meal for the amount of money that it costs to go through a fast food outlet.
Though you do have to go to considerably more effort.
You've got to go to effort. That's right. It's got to be time, thought, and effort put
But
into it.
you're not a fan of the state sort of just marching in and saying, right, we're going to tax this to put you off buying it.
No.
Okay. 11% of Kiwi children, Jamie, are obese, and among developed countries, we have the third greatest proportion of overweight or obese children. Is this an answer to it?
No. Well, I mean, it
I
might
don't even
make
know
people.
why I'm asking
I
you
don't know
this,
why you're
because you're
asking
such a
either.
liberal.
Yeah, I mean, it's these children have parents, don't they?
Well, yes, they do.
Does the
In
government
some
really
cases,
have to
very
act
bad,
to take over the-
irresponsible parents.
Yes, but the more the government takes over the role of parenting, the more people will think it isn't their job.
I know, but the trouble is it's not a perfect world, is it?
No, it's not. But the government has enlarged its role in looking after us all, and we've got fatter. So I don't see this as the solution. And anyway, fatness, I mean, why? You know, it's a trade-off, right? You eat a lot of food, you get fatter. But you've got fatter, but you've got to enjoy the food on the way in. Who am I to judge
Well, I'll
that you've
tell you
made the
who.
wrong
Okay,
trade-off?
so I'll tell you who you are to judge. You know all these arguments. You're the person that has to pay for the hospitalisation of these people for the bad
Right.
choices they've made.
Well,
so if you just look at it from an economic point of view, isn't it better that the government, I can't believe I'm saying this, isn't it better that the government steps in early to make these people slightly healthier?
I can give you a solution to that, even if you want to keep up state healthcare. Everybody gets covered they get a health insurance premium paid for them by the state, but only up to the level of somebody who doesn't smoke and isn't fat. And then if you smoke or get fat, you have to pay the extra on
Okay.
your health insurance. That gives you a disincentive to do those things. At the moment, you're effectively being subsidised
The
by the government.
disincentive is you'll get fat, and that doesn't work with these people, so that's not going to work either. So what's going to happen now
you don't bear
is
all the
as I
cost.
go to hospital, I will have to step over the rotting obese carcasses of the people who used up their quota.
In Jamie's world,
In
you
Jamie's
would.
world.
Yes, you would. That's true.
No, you wouldn't, because people would have to pay, would probably
they
pay
haven't
for
got
the
the
health
money.
insurance.
If we come back
Well,
to children, though, Jamie,
But isn't it perverse
children,
that poor people are fatter?
this whole health business and tiered business, that's not going to happen if their parents aren't responsible for them, as you say. But how many parents are going to be responsible for them?
Well, why do you think there's been this? You've got this view that parents are terribly irresponsible. This seems to be the current view. Now, I don't fully believe it. I know
Not
there
all
are some
parents, but
irresponsible
the ones who aren't looking after their children.
The ones that are problems are irresponsible.
The argument is now being peddled that because there's some minority of irresponsible parents, the state must take over society. Basically, that's the view, right? I just think it's an extreme reaction. I would rather we had some unhappiness in the world and basically a free society. I think the net
and I can buy into that.
Education for me. Education for me.
Okay,
But
these
again-
people won't be educated. They won't be educated. They won't,
Education
they
on
won't
how
do
to
the right
how to
thing.
cook. Education on how to make a simple meal. Education on how to grow
The
your own
trouble is, we've already
vegetables.
taught them how to get to burger fuel, and that's the best of the outlets. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. It's just a pleasure having you in. Karyn Hay, Jamie White.
Thank you.